There are very few producers sought out by artists who have done it all, with the expectation of elevating their music even higher. There are even fewer producers who fit that mold and have a discography of solo music that are timeless. Jon Bellion fits both of those molds and has solidified himself as a savant of music with one of the most creative minds we've ever seen. And I'm not sure we'll ever see someone like him ever again. His story starts back in Long Island, where he grew up playing basketball and making music. After he graduated from high school, he enrolled in the music program at Five Towns College, but dropped out at the age of 19 to really go full dive on producing and creating professionally. The year is 2011, and Jon Bellion has just released his first of 4 mixtapes, Shattered Thoughts Volume 1. After reaching 11,000 downloads, he was signed to Visionary Music Group in 2012, who he stayed with for years. Now, 2012 was a big year for music, with releases like Eminem's The Marshall Mathers LP 2, Good Kid Mad City by Kendrick, and Red by Taylor Swift. He's still green in the industry, and with big releases from the biggest artists in the world, you'd think it was an insurmountable task to break through, even though he's got a buzz going. Well, that's what you'd think, except for the fact that he wrote the chorus for Eminem and Rihanna's The Monster, as well as co-wrote and produced Trumpets by Jason Derulo. In 2013 and 14, he went on a run, releasing his second mixtape, Translation Through Speakers, followed by his third mixtape, The Separation, and then a year later, in 2014, The Definition.
Okay.
And then whatever the flow would
Back
be
and
was going
forth,
to
back
be
and
like
forth,
in
back and
between
forth.
that whole thing.
Okay.
These 3 mixtapes just continued to build onto his recognition within the industry, and they've all 3 stood the test of time. His unique style and masterful production shine through on every track and every project he touches, and that was still the case a decade ago. After going on his first tour called the Beautiful Mind Tour, he released 3 singles: Woodstock, Psychedelic Fiction, All Time Low, and Woke the Fuck Up.
That I'm at and
All Time Low is an absolutely massive song and was featured on his upcoming album, The Human Condition, alongside Woke the Fuck Up. Before The Human Condition released, though, he went on another tour and featured on a few different projects and records. Finally, it was time to start building up for his debut album, and he did so by releasing tracks Guillotine, 80s Films, and Maybe I Don't Know, while All Time Low went on to reach number 16 on the Hot 100 and become certified as double platinum. Jon's writing style is a favorite of mine, and it's because he talks about things that are real. Things that every single person who's listening will be able to relate to. In an interview with Elite Daily, Jon states, "Us as humans all have the same problems. We struggle with pride and tons of different issues that nobody really wants to talk about. So I figured if I'm the honest one showing how human I am, it will make people feel better about themselves." And that's what he does. From the writing to the production, even just the emotion in his voice and a lot of these songs building up to the payoff and what is the outro track for this project, Hand of God. This album is an experience from start to finish, and it's one of few projects I've ever walked away from feeling different about life. It's honestly just refreshingly beautiful. After The Human Condition, he was officially a known name, not in the background of other artists or in the underground of releasing music. He was known. He went on to perform All Time Low on NBC's Today Show and open for 21 Pilots on the US leg of their Emotional Roadshow World Tour. All of this leads into his next album, Glory Sound Prep. We now find ourselves in the year 2018, where Bellion has started teasing fans of his upcoming album. Throughout this year, he posts different pictures and finally announced the project was coming on November 9th. Best birthday present ever, might I add. And unlike certain artists, Kanye, he followed through and Glory Sound Prep was officially released. While this album didn't do the same numbers as The Human Condition, my god was it still amazing. The intro track, Conversations with My Wife, is a beautiful tribute to what real love is, before we get to the 4th track, Stupid Deep. This track talks about how not everything is buried and hidden, but sometimes it's right in front of you. This song is so damn good. Jon has not released a solo project since 2018's Glory Sound Prep. He's transitioned his focus away from his own discography and left us with a plethora of wonderful music, as well as doing something nobody else as big as him ever really has. Jon's released behind-the-scenes videos and documentaries surrounding his creative process and what it was like in the studio making his songs. Watching these videos and being immersed in the room, witnessing how passionate he is and seeing him find his pocket when working is incredible. And discovering these a few years ago has only motivated me and made me want to work harder and harder. At the start of this video, I said that other huge artists seek him out even with nothing left to prove because he's that magical in the studio that he can elevate anyone's sound. As mentioned earlier, he co-wrote and produced one of Eminem's biggest songs, The Monster, featuring Rihanna, and he was still fresh on the scene. He didn't stop his work with other artists there though. He kicked up his production after finishing his solo arc by working with Selena Gomez for her song Vulnerable, Life Must Go On by Quinn XCII, I Don't Know Roman Numerals, then Camila Cabello, Halsey, and Maroon 5. He worked with Justin Bieber as well for his album Justice. In fact, everybody speculates that the song Ghost off this album was written for Justin being in love with Selena Gomez still, but sorry to break it to you, Jon wrote that song about his late grandmother. He's released a few singles in the last year, but nothing's been announced on if he'll return to releasing solo music yet. In the meantime, we can look forward to him elevating other artists even more, like with Tori Kelly, where he absolutely killed it on her project, and then some of my favorite songs he's worked on yet by co-writing and producing every single song off their last album. In fact, Jon did his thing so much on this album that it doesn't even sound like it should be coming from the Jonas Brothers that we grew up with. It's emotional, it's vulnerable, it's real. In fact, the final song on the album is titled Walls. The song is amazing, and seeing the guys perform it live, you can tell the influence that Jon had and helped them bring out more emotion than ever. Jon Bellion's influence will only continue to spread, and his work alongside helping other artists dig deeper than ever before is why Jon Bellion is one of music's most wanted producers. Please release music soon, Jon. I'm begging you.